everybody. Sorry I'm slightly late. I was having trouble with my webcam and wasn't cooperating. Um, anyway, it's Friday, April 5th, and of course, it's the weekend of the solar eclipse, which is going to happen on Monday. So, I don't know how much coverage that we will have here in the Northwest. We don't know what the rain's going because we've been getting rain off and on. So I don't know what the weather is going to be like on Monday for it. Anyway, I hope all is well. Sorry, I'm trying to move things around so it's a little bit more stable. Seriously, I need to clean my desk. It's been kind of a long day, if you will. Let me tilt this back just a little bit. There. That's a little bit better, right? So anyway, in the news, of course, you've been hearing all day. Oh, speaking of which, New York and New Jersey had a little bit of a surprise this morning. They were hit by a 4.7 earthquake. Many of them had never been in an earthquake, so it really kind of rattled a lot of people. They said this is the strongest one they had yet. Normally the earthquakes are like 1.8 and they barely feel it, but this one they felt it. New York City rattled, Manhattan rattled. The UN was having their emergency council meeting this morning, and they were like, okay, what is this? And of course, some of the world representatives that were there, the ambassadors that were there going, oh, I know what this is. The one representative from Turkey goes, it's an earthquake. Because, they do get them over there in Turkey. Some bad ones. So anyway, hi Carol. Sorry, like I said, I was a little bit late. Like, was having trouble with my camera and everything. Can you hear me okay? So anyway, I don't know if you heard of the news. Okay, good. Because my daughter, when I talked to her this morning, she could barely hear me, so I kind of wonder if it's not on her end, but things happen. But anyway, so far there has been no damage or injuries in New York, New Jersey vicinity, Northeast vicinity, but they're still checking everything. Because not all, I don't know how strong the buildings are in New York City, whether they're seismic proof and everything. So I don't know if they enforce those type of laws in there like they do here in Washington State. They enforce seismic construction rules here pretty hard because we've been dealing with serious earthquakes. Of course, it all depends on what kind of land that the building is built on. So, anyway, regarding he who shall not be named, Trump, his bond insurer, number one, he's in Colorado, and he is not licensed to do business in New York. So therefore, it's kind of a stringent thing, but New York did not accept that because where's the money? And anyway, that bond company is in trouble. They broke federal law. Yeah. So he's in trouble. They're in trouble. Also, the there during the merger of the Trump's media company with this other company, Digital Acquisitions, I think their name is. Two of their employees, or two of their employees, have committed insider trading violations, and they pled guilty already. They just go, we did it, okay. Of course, for insider trading, it's about like 20 years in prison. That's what it is. That's what it is for a penalty on that. There are two brothers that work for this their Digital Acquisitions and Trump organization merger thing, and also Trump lost $58 million last fall because of this so-called merger. And so he's in trouble for not being truthful in his statements, let's put it this way. He's never been truthful. As Cannon also ruled that as of yesterday, Judge Cannon, she should be replaced and put with a judge that knows how to handle cases like this. She ruled that Trump's dismissal of the case and everything else is to be thrown out. It's moot, okay, with cases like this. So that trial is going on as planned, as well as the Georgia RICO Act trial. That's still going on. Now, I saw a thing through Newsweek that stated that Fani Willis recused herself or faced jail or whatever. That's a bunch of crock. That's already been ruled. That the trial's going to go on. There's no impropriety. There's no anything else. And that so-called little trial was a time waster more than anything. So Trump failed in that one. Also, the judge at the criminal trial in New York made the gag order bigger, which covers all families and any who are involved in the courtroom and the trial. So, they need to stop being afraid of Trump. And if he violates a gag order, throw his ass in jail. Stop playing around. The guy needs to be held accountable and need to be put in jail and kept there until all the trials are done with. And if he's convicted, keep him there. And then, when all's said and done, send him off to prison. As far as I'm concerned, when Trump does all these things, the guy, I don't think he needs any rights. I'm sure the common person does, but usually they're falsely accused. But Trump doesn't have, the guy's never learned. He's never grown up. Ever. That's right. That's right, Carol. It does need to happen. And the people are saying, well, he wants to go to jail. Well, okay, if you want to go to jail, send him to jail. Stop playing around. It's not going to make him a martyr. They already got all the information. They already got his mug shots and everything else. And frankly, I think they should ground his airplane so he can't fly off. And the lawyers that are for Trump keep calling him President Trump, and the lawyer in the New York criminal trial says, no, he is not president anymore. It's Mr. Trump or Defendant Trump, and that's the way it's going to be. Trump should not have any special privileges or anything else. They need to take off the kid gloves and say, fine. You know what? If you keep violating the gag order, off to jail you go. And you're going to stay there. And you will be in solitary. You won't have any access to electronics or anything at all. The only access you have to is your lawyer. And if your lawyer violates the gag order, because that applies to them too, they be in jail. So, as I said before, the Florida trial, the espionage case is still ongoing. So, and as well as the Georgia trial. Now, some of these right-wing news outlets sit there and say, oh, well, Fonnie been recused and everything else and the trial will be dismissed. No, that's not true. What they state in there is not. I used to respect Newsweek, but not anymore because of they don't sit there and dig for the facts, and they don't, they're being too biased. They need to be neutral and just put out the facts, and that's right then and there, let people decide. Now, I heard this is really funny this morning. There is a congressional resolution wanting to rename a federal prison down in Florida after Trump. Yeah, they are like Fox. I don't watch Fox News. The only time I watch Fox is I watch a sports, like a game or something if they're doing it. But I understand this year Fox has lost their sports contracts to air games, and ESPN is taking over. So, Fox hasn't learned its lesson yet. Anyway, Senator Connolly, Senator Representative Connolly, one of the two houses. Anyway, again, wants to rename that federal prison in Florida for Trump. Well, I think that's fitting. Then when Trump, because it's a supermax prison, is what it is. Because there's a supermax in Florida, and I think there's another one in South Carolina, and there's another one in Colorado. Really what they should do is just send Trump down to Gitmo. Because they do put him in solitary down there. Out of sight, out of mind. I'll be so glad when this is all over. This drags on and on and on, and really, I think they should do that and just leave the Dulles International Airport name alone. If they want to rename the airport, then they need to rename it something else. Okay? Maybe after a social worker, volunteer or something that's done great work, or name it after a World Kitchen president that's been doing international humanitarian services. No, if Trump is not winning, he's losing. He's losing big. Well, like I said, I don't know if you heard Carol, there was a story about his niece, Mary Trump, and she's seen this happen. Her grandmother, maternal grandmother, maternal? Well, her grandmother, wouldn't put up with Trump's behavior, bad behavior. And he was sitting there bullying his older brother and mocking him and everything else. She finally had enough, and she took a bowl of mashed potatoes and dumped it over his head, and made the mashed potatoes bowl the hat right over Trump. And of course, he burst into tears and got all mad and everything else. And said, like revenging you. And she goes, my only revenge will be a spanking. And there was a tremendous amount of respect for the grandmother. She wouldn't put up with it. She told her son, it was her maternal. Anyway, told her son and goes, you need to teach him better. So, frankly, Trump has never grown up, ever. And I've run into a number of selfish people like Trump, like that. And makes you want to take them over your knee and spank the hell out of them. That's what makes you really want to do. Oh yeah, and Mary Trump was laughing about that. Everybody else laughed at Trump when that happened. This was during dinner. And that was when finally Trump was sent off to private school. His mother wanted to discipline him, but the father wouldn't let it happen. Father was letting little Trump do whatever he wanted, and that's wrong. Normally, no parent should let their child act that way. Anything. So anyway, we'll see what happens after that. And of course, you hear all these conspiracy theories and the thing about the so-called chemtrails and everything that you see in the sky. That all that is water vapors up in the higher, 40,000 feet, 41, 42, 45,000 feet height, ceiling height. All that is water vapors. That's what it is. And there's no chemicals coming out of those planes. It just comes off the wings of the airplane. That's where it's coming off of. And of course, the heat and the exhaust from the aircraft interacts with the cold air. That's all it is. And these guys that make up all these conspiracy theories, they're a bunch of idiots. They really are. They're being stupid. And you hear all these conspiracy theories about the solar eclipse and everything else. I go, please, the solar eclipse has been going on for eons. It's been going on for centuries. All it is the moon becoming between the earth and the sun. That's all it is. Yeah, I know the idiots believe it. And I told them no, unless, I'll tell you what I think it is with the idiots. I bet you they missed a special assignment in science class. I bet you they skipped science class. Okay? I seen water vapor, or what I call water vapor trails on a very cold morning here in Western Washington. Of course, over that way. And when the planes take off, and the air is cold, and the engine's hot, and water droplets come off the wings, and they fly out. Sure. It's kind of pretty when I see it. When it crisscrossed the pattern and everything else. You can see the direction where the plane's going. I'd rather see that. And, and I tell people, They say, oh, well, those are chemtrails, they're dumping chemicals and everything. I'll go, no, they're not. All it is just water vapors. Even Tyson, Neil deGrasse, he talks about that, the science guy, okay? And Bill Nye, the science guy, he says that happens all the time. It depends on the weather, it depends on the temperature, what the weather's going to do, and everything else. Now, I hope we have a quiet weekend this week, weather-wise this weekend. We've been having a lot of severe storms. Well, look what happened the last Tuesday in Kentucky. I don't know if anybody's been killed in that tornado that hit in Kentucky area, the Midwest area. But please, people, stay safe. Keep your ear to the radio, weather radio, and keep your eye to the sky. Because right now, tornadoes season is in full swing right now. Carol, where do you live? Now I know Nancy Halverson's been getting snow in Ava, Wisconsin. Which kind of caught everybody by surprise. They thought the snow thing was pretty much over and all they were getting is rain. Oh, you're in Utah. Okay. Yeah. Now, I have a friend that lives in Montana, and she said the snow kind of ends around March or April, but depends on, again, on the weather and on the weather pattern. Yeah. Well, I live in Washington State, so I'm about northwest of you. I'm up this way. Yeah, we're getting rain off and on. It's been windy sometimes. Is it windy now? No, it's pretty quiet now. Sometimes we do get wind off and on. Now, once in a while, we'll get real nasty windstorms. Which I don't care to relive again. Okay. So anyway, I'm glad that you came on though. That's cool. Again, I'm doing some work on making intro cards for my YouTube channel. Intro cards for that, and intro cards are cards for promoting my store, online store. I'm doing Ginger's Headline Store for right now. And then this morning I got a letter from email from PayPal, and they reinstated my account, but I'm not going to do anything this weekend until really it's off and I could close out the account. I reported them their poor business practice or bad business practice to the federal government, what they pulled, because they did a big no-no. What I did was, about a year ago, I converted my individual account to a business account so I could keep everything separate when I worked my stores. Well, less than a day, I get a notice from PayPal that they limited my account. Yeah, it's good, but they got solved some problems, okay? But they limited my account, so I could not pay my bills through PayPal. I could not get paid through PayPal because they limited an account. And I go, well, why? And they wouldn't tell me. I go, fine. You know what? I'm going to go to the Consumer Affairs Protection Bureau and report you guys. That is a federal arm of the government. And I'm going to report it to you guys what you did pull, which is a no-no. And so this was like 2 weeks ago I reported this. I got word back from Consumer Affairs, and I said, well, I hope you nailed them on this. And Consumer Affairs says if they still play around on this, report it again and let us know. Because PayPal right now is in trouble for that kind of business practice. So PayPal, if you're listening to this, stop goofing around, take off the limitations, and if I choose to, I want to go back to individual account. If not, I would like to cancel the account completely. Shopify is not using PayPal anymore because the things they pull on small business owners and the trouble they're having with them. So I now use Cash App. So, but you can pay through Shopify Pay through my store when you pay for the items. But I will let you know I'm going to be working on designs for that too, for the Ginger's Chat show. Sorry. Also today, I'm supposed to get my UPAT air filter. What is about the same, Carol? Wait, what are you referring to? PayPal has two different accounts. They have a business account, and then they have an individual account. Well, I usually pay my bills through my bank, but through my business part, I pay my bill through Shopify's balance. But like I said, with PayPal, they've been pulling this stunt on a lot of people. And I had PayPal for like 10 years and never had any problems with them. But when I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm going to make this separate and pay my, so I could get my pay through Cash App. Cash App is run by a different company. It's not through PayPal. Okay. It's like this, Carol. Hold on a second. Here you go. And they're very good as well. So anyway, okay, well, it's time for me to, you're welcome, Carol. It's time for me to sign off. I'm going to grab a little bit of lunch. And as I said, I'm waiting for my new air purifier that'll help me and Loki on our allergies and everything. Loki's feeling better. He's not sneezing and coughing as much now because they gave him antibiotics and he's on other stuff. So, he's feeling better. So, okay, have a great weekend, and I will post this video on my YouTube channel. And take care. Love you guys, and be sure to share, insist, persist, and push back. And put out the facts. And if people don't like hearing the facts, well, that's just tough luck. That's their problem. More than anything. So, okay, I'll see you later. Love you. Bye-bye.